Okay, we are live. Sorry about being a little late today, but yeah, we ran a little longer in the morning than I expected at the gym. So we're here, we're back. As always, we have our gesture drawing class going on the right. So if you want to follow along, get some gesture drawing practice in, go for it. Love that. You can post it on our Discord art sharing platform or art sharing channel. I'd love to see what everyone does. Actually, I'm going to post a link in the chat. Let's do art sharing, invite, create one. Nice. Okay, here is the link, the art sharing channel on our Discord. Nice. So last week, guys, we were starting on this little animation here. So we have this jump blocked in. It's actually looking pretty good. I was going to change the hand, but maybe we can do that after. So we have our 3 key poses. And now we just need to add some in-betweens. We need to time this out and really finish off this animation. So that's what we'll do today. We'll see how far we can get. And it's kind of realistic to a studio setting, because in a studio, you usually do a blocking pass with just the keys, and then you'll come back like a week later once you get that shot back and actually do the animation. So this is kind of how things will work in a studio. So let's just do our last little checks. Let's fix any small problems we see. It's always good to check it over once before you actually move on to the animation. Let's see. This needs a new drawing substitution. We'll kind of just go. We'll cheat that a bit. And sorry, no lights today. If it's a little bit dark, but last stream, I don't know what was going on. The lights were killing my eyes. I could barely see. So we're going to do it in the dark today. All right. Get these last little poses. I think that's good enough. I should have done this before, but we might need a new angle for this sword, but we can do that after. But now what I do, I collapse everything. We'll go to the master peg. And one cool thing I like to do is mark these frames in red. So these are going to be like my key frames that I need to pay attention to. And now we're just going to time this out. So we'll drag the frames around and kind of get the timing right. I like to keep it on odd numbers. So if we go here, I want him to hang a little bit in the air. That's looking okay. We're going to probably need an anticipation before he goes up. So we'll go 2, 4, kind of right in the middle. This is going to be our anticipation frame. So he's going to come back before he jumps up. And I'm kind of just going to freehand this. I don't think I need to do a full draw over. But if you do, that's fine as well. You can do the draw over technique for any stage of the animation. So let's really drop him down and back. I really want him to wind up. So here, let's go to his expression. We'll drop this, squash it, and I need his eyelids. We'll shut his eyes. I'm still not sure if I like how the eyelids are set up on this rig. If anyone knows a better way to rig an eyelid, I'd love to hear it. Right, we'll close these eyes. Normally these lids should have deformers on them. I just forgot to do it with this rig, so there's that. We'll squash his expression down, bring his head. See, what I'm doing here is I'm making my own head tilt. Sometimes you'll get a head tilt in your rig. Usually you will if it's a pretty big production, but sometimes you might have to do it yourself. Here, we'll move this back. Right, really comes down. We'll bring his arm's gonna come up. So let's get rid of this. We'll bring his arms back and shoulders up. I really want him to wind up here, right? We really want to sell this jump. Let's see, the shield is dragging, so maybe we can bring the shield. Right, the breakdown pose, you'd be surprised with what you can get away with. So don't rush, don't do something right in the middle, see what looks interesting. You can get away with a lot of interesting breakdowns. And that's kind of where like really good animation shines, is in the breakdown poses. Interesting keys, but also not just cookie cutter breakdowns, try and get something interesting to look at. Let's see. I'm gonna skew this whole thing. So he kind of leans back a bit. We can probably do it even more. Push the head. I feel if you're skewing a character, you can get away with skewing the body quite a bit, but just be careful when you skew the head, because that's kind of where you really start to notice something's off. Not happy with this shield arm. Let's get back up. Up like this. Actually, let's bring it down. For this tween to kind of play through. Nice. Right, see how much that little anticipation adds? Right, just a little movement back, and this really reads well now. So let's go in quickly and get these poses correct. So like fix all our little imperfections. And now this is kind of the same process as posing out the character, right? You move it into place, you kind of block it in, and then you come in with the deformers later once all the big pieces are moved, and it makes it a little easier, or it gives you more control of the deformers, which is huge. I always say that. Put this guy back even more. Get this in proper perspective. Yeah, nice. Anyone's watching, any comments, questions you have about basically anything, animation related, not animation related, let me know. And yeah, basically anything you want to say. And if you have questions about what I'm doing, if I'm going too fast, if you didn't see like, something that I did, let me know and I'll go over it, love to do that. Nice, that's an interesting pose. And yeah, and if you're drawing along, post it in the Discord so we can update in real time to see people's drawings. Okay, we need the back ankle. We'll get this nice perspective. It adds a lot in your rig too, to have like the back of a cuff, the back of an ankle, right? It's a really easy way to get some nice perspective in your poses. And it's very, very simple to do. Okay, let's move this up. And at this stage, if I was doing this as like a studio shot, this stage I would still consider blocking. So The way it works, you submit a posing pass and then you do an animation pass. So I would consider the breakdowns and the keys part of my posing pass, and then I would do a separate animation pass to fill in the in-betweens, the tweens, and everything like that. Some people uh, don't do that. They just have their keys and then they go right to animation. But I kind of like to block things out, take more time in the blocking stage. Right? I find if you go right into animation and then something isn't working, or like a tween doesn't work the way you think it's going to, it can really be a pain in the ass to kind of fix it at that stage. I always take my time, and it seems to be working out for me. That's looking pretty good. Oh, look, this is disappearing. So let's fix this. What's going on? We need our cuff, our lower arm. We need our back sleeve here. So see how this is disappearing? The sleeve? It might just be because some drawing. See how it's locked and the drawing didn't go all the way? That's probably just a mistake. Unlock it, press F5, and now it's back. It's just the drawing exposure, probably. Okay. That's sure. I'm not really liking this shield. I don't know what we're going to do with that. I don't want to change the drawing swap, because I feel when we go to tween it, it might look a little weird. I want to keep it the same. All right, so he comes in, and the shield comes out. I think we can get away with that. Not the greatest breakdown pose. Okay, mark it in blue. And now here, I want one pose from here to here. That's a lot of space. If we tween this, if you see like that, it's going to look, it doesn't look that bad. I feel we can get a more interesting pose right in the middle as he comes down. So here's what I might do. I'm going to get rid of these tweens, but I'm going to keep this movement. Oops, I deleted the whole thing. I'm going to get rid of these tweens like this, but I'll keep his movement so it kind of is still a smooth arc. Right, so I'll probably have him hang a little bit. We can get rid of that now. And now as he's coming down, I kind of want everything to drag behind him. So his shield is going to like drag behind him. His arm, as it swings down, is going to come up. The hand we can drag, I guess, a little bit like this. His head, we'll drag his head. Move this up. His eyebrows come up. Maybe move his whole neck as well. See if that looks okay. Nice. Loving that. We got to do something with his feet, though. Like, let's have his feet drag more, and we'll kick this foot out a bit. Right? As he comes, it'll kick, and he'll plant. Cool. Nice. The last thing is his tunic. If I'm looking, it comes up. There's like wind in it. So it's going to drag. It's going to probably come up something like this. It might be a little tough to make the deformers work. Something like that. Right, we're going to have to finesse this a lot with when we go into our deformers. Here, look, it comes down a little bit. Nice. I'm liking that a lot. I love the little step with his leg. Okay, nice. So now we just got to come in, fix this leg we can leave. We need to change this connection. And that's what I kind of like about rigs like this. You can get some pretty smooth animation that almost looks traditional, especially if you do some drawovers and match the deformers to the drawovers. Like your cutout animation doesn't have to look like a puppet anymore. You know, those days I feel are long gone. The advancements in rigging, just the better tools, they make it way easier to get better quality animation using rigs. It's insane. Let's do, I'm kind of cheating because this is just black, so we can kind of get away with this leg not really being connected. I think we can get away with it. And same thing, this is a tough pose, so maybe if this isn't working, I might need to do a draw over. I might need to go in, do some redraw, and then match my deformers again. Oh, I also forgot background music, guys, but whatever, that's okay. So something's wrong with this. Fix. Oops. So this comes, drag it here, and then we'll have this come up as well. I like that. This will give us a lot of interesting secondary action as well. See that? And when you think about it, we didn't change our key pose that much. We kind of just made a tiny change, tiny tweak here and there, but it adds a lot for our breakdown. Come in, let's get this. Right, we can get away with this. We're gonna have to move this hair back. And I think sometimes I like to do this, sometimes you don't have to, but I'll add in at least some secondary or some drag on his hair here. Normally people do this like at the end. They'll do like a straight ahead pass on the hair. But sometimes I like to block it in with my breakdown just to kind of get that feel of how things are going to look at the end. Right, so maybe even here we can add some drag on the hair. And then when we tween this, our work will be a little easier when we're adding our overlapping action and stuff. Here, nice. Right, so that's it. I'm happy with that. If I were to submit this at a studio, this would be my posing pass. I have 3 keys and then a breakdown in between to show how you go from each motion. Right? I would submit that, I would get feedback on it, and then move on to animation. Okay, so let's mark this. Let's do breakdowns in blue. And key drawings in red. Ooh. Okay, so now let's break this up into movements. We're gonna go here to here. If we're looking at this as like a bouncing ball, let's see. I want him to slow into this pose, or slow out of this pose, jump, hang a little bit at the top, and then come down. So if we were to draw this motion, let's think about it. Like now I'm thinking about spacing and timing. Mostly spacing though. So say like this is him. He goes up, down. Let's zoom in so you guys can see. So he goes up, down. I want him to slow out of this pose. So there's going to be more drawings here, less drawings. And as he comes to the top of his jump, I want him to slow out of that pose as well. I want him to hover at the top. And then he speeds up. And then we're kind of going to give him some overshoot. So he's going to overshoot his landing. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. Let's see. So for tweening, now we have our poses all done. We can literally just press Control K and tween in. We probably need to tween these. All right, let's keyframe these. I think something is going wrong here. So let's see. Let's keyframe, add a tween. Right? Comes down. Comes up. But remember, I did my movement on the top peg as well. So if we just put regular tweens on it, no ease or anything, let's see how that looks. Right? Pretty robotic. Not very interesting. So what happens if where is it? Here it is. If we add an ease, so let's say like 50, so he slows out of this pose, speeds up here, and then slows into this pose with like 65. Let's see how that looks. So see how there's a little more weight at the top? I like that. So now let's go back to this pose. We're on our keyframes. What if we give it more ease? So 65 to 45. So he's still slow. He slows into this top pose and out of that pose as well. Whoops. Let's pause that. Stop. Don't want to do that. Nice. I like this timing. I like the spacing. Right, but we're not done. This is kind of just a guide to how I want this to look. So I'm going to start here. As he comes down, we can even see what happens if we extend this by 2 frames. Right, maybe that adds a little more weight, a little more cushion at the beginning. So let's go. Let's make this 50. And then in the middle, to add a little more interest, let's have his eyebrows pop up. Right, let's delay that. Have his head tilt this way a little bit. All right, see, it's a little very subtle, but it adds some interest. So not everything is moving at the same time. Same with the sword. Let's delay his sword hand. So we're giving it a little subtle movement screen right. Okay, so I like that. Coming down. And we do only probably need just one frame here. Or maybe two, because I want, let's see what happens. I want him to be on the ground as he pushes off. I don't want him to go right from here to the air. I want his feet to be still on the ground before he jumps. So let's go back. Right here, we'll add a key. And notice too how I'm still using the tweens, because when I adjust things, the tweens automatically adjust other parts of the animation as well. So I won't convert it all to twos just yet. So this, let's move him. Let's keep it all in the same thing. Let's move him down a bit. Like that. We'll plant his feet, but we're going to stretch him. So we might not get away with this. It might be a little too much, but I think it should be okay. We'll put like his feet there. And grab this lower leg. Bring it here. And same thing, for a pose like this, if I can't get it, I would draw it out. But I think we can get away with it. So let's actually move his whole pelvis down. Right, and since I spent so much time posing the character out, thinking about the straights and the curves and the solid posing, at this point, I don't really have to think about it too much. Like, I know the poses are working, so I kind of just work in between them now. Now I can focus on things like smooth arcs or, overlapping action or things like that. Watch and stretch, And like with some actions, you'd be surprised what you can get away with, right? When this is playing full speed, 24 frames a second, you're not going to notice a lot of details that you think might be noticeable now. So keep that in mind as well when you're posing out your characters or animating. Try and push them as far as you can. If something, like if you want to stretch something, sure, stretch it more, This needs to be right. If there's a sad expression, maybe, push the expression a little more when you come back. And again, I guess it depends on the style of animation you're going for. If it's a more realistic style, maybe not so much exaggerated poses. But if it's a cartoony style, why not, right? I need to match this foot. Pretty much matched to the floor. We'll have his heel sort of off the ground because he's pushing off. Right, so notice too, when I scrub, I kind of ignore this frame because when I convert it to twos, this frame's going to be gone. So I scroll from keyframe to keyframe. If that's working, that's what I want. Right, so sometimes now, if you play this animation now, you'll notice some parts are popping or, some in-betweens are out of place, but those will all be fixed when you convert it to twos. It gets rid of kind of all the extra movements that aren't really working out. Okay, let's go here. Short break. How long have we been going for? 30 minutes? Nice. Making progress. I like that too. Say you're struggling on a scene, you know, maybe just take a break. Come back the next day. Come back. I mean, if you can, come back a week later, you know? Let me check. Yeah, that's not working. Oh, gotta charge this. Nice. And also, if anyone has used some of the rigs that I make, because you guys can download this rig for free. It's not the best quality, but I would love some feedback of anyone who's used these rigs before so I can make them a little better. Because I'll be the first to admit there are some very annoying things to this rig that I probably should have taken care of. But, you know, that's how we learn. Nice. We're going to fix the eyes. So we'll have his eyes looking up. Hello. Anyone see where's the camera? My whole setup. Hello. Hello, Marlo. It's almost time for him to eat lunch. Okay, good. Thought we ruined the whole setup to see the dog, but it's worth it. Okay, Presco. It's okay. Nice. So this pose is looking fine. If we play through, he jumps, lands. So we can actually probably get away with this. Like, we don't really need to do anything from here to here. Now let's focus on the landing. So this landing, I want to overshoot the landing. So he's gonna squash down and then settle up for a few frames. So what I like to do, this is going to be the final pose. So we'll go like 3 frames or 5 frames forward. I'll keyframe it. This becomes my new keyframe, right? My new pose. And now we'll grab this character and we'll squash him down, right? We'll move the arm this way, right? We'll move this arm up. We won't do the secondary action, just the body for now. And already, right? That adds a little more impact to the hit. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I hope it's helpful, and I hope I'm not going too fast or it's too boring. You know. I think that's all we need right now, right? One, maybe a little more. Maybe a little more on the eyes. Let's squash his face a little more. Okay, like this. Bring it down. There. That's a little better. The eyebrows have cutters on them, so I can push them actually farther, and they'll cut off the eyes. Right? Love that. See how it comes up? Nice. Looking good. So I think now what I'm going to do is we have our motion, right? It's working. Now I'm going to go in to the head, to the arms, to the shield, to the sword. And I'm going to offset the timing. I'm going to add some drag, add some overlap action. And this is kind of where the finishing touches are going to go. So notice how I work on my master layer this whole time. Now I'm going to go in and go to the head layer, to the arm layer, right? I'm gonna work on those separate layers now. So like as his head is going down, we already offset this a little bit. Instead of him coming up, what if we have the head drag behind a little bit here? Move this up, move this down. Right? This is kind of very subtle movements. You don't want to be too crazy at this stage, but we're going to try and add some extra. And like here, if we want, we can extend the head by like 2 frames. So now the eyes finish after the body, right? We're offsetting that timing. So let's go into the actual, let's do the bun first. Now, bun layer. As he comes down, you don't really need too much movement here, but maybe we can have a little bit. Let's see. Go like this, right? It settles a bit. We'll get the Z depth right. We'll drag it back here. This is gonna, oh, where'd it go? I'm gonna drag here. We'll have it settle for 3 frames, or sorry, 5 frames. We'll push it. We'll overshoot the bun just a little bit as well. See now how that the bun also settles after everything? It's kind of moving on its own now. Right? It loosens things up. That's basically what this stage is. Loosening things up. We're chiseling away at the sculpture, if you want to think of it like that. So here comes down. We don't need any secondary there. Here we do. Comes back. Move this up. Yeah, I like that. And then here, same thing. Instead of having the hair fall at the same time as the head, we're gonna drag it. Drag it up. Whoops. And right, see, so I blocked in a little bit of the hair movement before, but now I'm getting right into those details. So here, same kind of movement. I like the 3. This will be an overshoot. Right? And then it'll come back. But here's even a funner trick. We'll go into each individual bang and we'll offset. the timing. So maybe this will finish like that many frames after. So we go, hook. See how they all don't settle at the same time? We could do though. We need to adjust the deformers a bit. Nice. Give it, loosen it up more. Of that. So let's see. And there's no ease. I don't think you really need an ease there. Loving that. Look at that. Right? It's really loose. Really loose. Let's one more time. Okay. So the head is pretty much done. Now let's go in. Arms. Right on the arm layer. See what we can do here. Well, I think first things first, we got to get the back arm back. I don't know why the back sleeves are locked. That's weird. We got to unlock it. We got to extend the exposure. There you go. Okay. Here, what are we? 41 minutes. We got this. We got this. So here. Yeah, that looks fine. Maybe we can offset the timing there. We'll fix a little bit of the joint issues. Nice. So I kind of like that. He's gonna lead with this arm. Sure. But what if we went like this? What if we dragged this arm? Let's see how that looks. Like instead of leading, what if we took where is it? This. Okay. That's why. What if we took this arm and drag the sword back? What happens there? I kind of like that. It gives it more of like maybe I don't like that. But see, this is how we're experimenting. No. Depends. Sometimes you do. If the rig has a master controller, maybe I'll use it. But to be honest, like a lot of the times I'll just copy and paste my frames. Like the studio I'm working at now, the rigs are really great, no master controllers, and the animation is just fine. So I think it's really up to your preference. And at this stage, though, I wouldn't use a master controller. That's kind of more for blocking in the pose. So if I were to use a master controller, it's at the beginning of the process. At this point, it's too late. It would just mess up my animation and it would be a real nightmare. Yeah, let's just do this. Let's do it. Okay. So that arm is here. Liking that. This is our key pose, so we're good. This is also one of our key poses. I don't know why this is here. And all this without redrawing some sword angle. I like that. Right, there he goes. We may need something in between here, because yeah, we're gonna need one more pose. So let me go to the master. We'll add a frame here. I want to keep it sort of on twos, is what I'm trying to do. And here, this is another pose we need. So as he's coming down, let's have his feet hit the ground first, right? Let's have this foot hit the ground. And then we're going to have this foot drag behind. So he really compresses now. I like that. Right, and this will happen too. That's why I don't get rid of my tweens either yet. Because if something like this happens where I realize, hey, I need to add an extra whole pose, the tweens are going to help like mesh it together with my previous poses. If I had already converted this to twos, this would have been a little more of a nightmare to kind of get right. It wouldn't have been impossible to fix. But this is a little bit easier to do. This in front. But at this point, like the hard work is done. Like if the animation didn't look good at the beginning, there's really nothing you can do at this point to fix it. Right? If it wasn't smooth when you were posing it out, it's not going to get any smoother the farther you come without correcting those mistakes, you know? So here, this is still going to be dragging. We're going to do something cool with the tunic after. Kind of like the hair, we're going to offset it, and I think it should look really good. So here, like this. We're almost done. I really, really want to keep it under an hour, but I really want to just finish this. So we might go a little over time. We might just make it in time. I know everyone's a little busy, so I don't want to waste your day just, watching me. Okay, nice. Let's have the onion skin back on. How is the stream quality, by the way? Anyone watching, is there a delay? Can you see what I'm doing? Is it clear? Let me know, and I'll try and fix it next time. I'll try and do a little better next time. We're always trying to improve these streams. Okay, Jesus. These feet. And if we have time at the end too, I've been working on a new rig. I can show you guys if we have time at the end. I think there are a few things that I did differently that I really like. Look, boom. He really plants that foot. I like that. Okay, let's fix the upper body. And see, I don't use the onion skin a lot either. It's kind of now I'll use it more. Right, we'll get this. Got that. And let's drag. Like, let's see his upper body. We're going, not too much, but we'll just kind of knock it backwards a little bit. Okay, we can turn off the onion skin for this. I just move this up. It's still dragging. Right, and to a movement like this, it's good to find some reference online. If you can ever film yourself, I hear that's good. I don't really like to film myself when I am animating, just because I find I'm always so stiff. So it's not really a good reference, but I am a huge, huge believer in a good reference. You know, there are times where it's like you do an animation and then you do it with reference, and the results are really night and day. It looks a million times better just with a simple step. Okay, there, almost done. Let's drag this a little bit. Okay, I think that's good enough. That pose is good enough for now. Yeah, it should be like that. Okay, let's play it. It should be a little better. Nice. This is a little slow, so let's go knock that back too. Nice. Okay. What if we do this? We go into the hand, key that, and we just move it back a little bit. Right? A little. Okay. So let's do the tunic now. This is only 24, around 24 frames exactly. Wow. So this whole animation basically takes 1 second to play. So not too much, not very long. A pretty simple shot. We're gonna go here, up. I like that. Yes, nice. Now this is what we're gonna do. As he comes down, same thing. We're gonna overshoot his tunic this way, right? Add some extra movement. Oh, close. And then it'll come back. So here, and kind of the same deal. Frames this way, we'll overshoot back. Very subtle. And then hit just a little bit. Love that. It's looking great, actually. So there. Let's do the sword. And see now, I'm going piece by piece, basically. We'll have the sword drag down. See this frame? That we don't have to worry about it. Because it's going to be out. We're not going to care. And then same thing. We'll have the sword come up. Have it overshoot. Right? Down. Cool. Up like that. And it's a little different than all the other timing, right? So things are moving at different times. They're stopping at different times. It just looks a lot better. Okay. So at this point, I like the shield hand. I think the arc is looking pretty good. So at this point, I'm going to convert this to 2s. So we've basically done all we can. We've kind of corrected what we needed to correct. I'm I'm going to go in, select everything. On the master shadow, like all of this, I'm going to select this button here. And see every number of frames, I want 2s. I'm going to convert it to 2s. Press OK. And that's why we wanted to be on odd frames, because it converts really nice. So get rid of this tween. And now when we play this, right, it looks a lot better. All those little frames are gone. Whew. He sticks really nice. That is looking really, really nice. And then the last step, I guess, would be to go in frame by frame and just see if anything's off, if anything's popping, if any exposures aren't extended. It's looking pretty good so far. Nice. And I think I'm going to call that done, guys. That is, oh, wait, maybe we can, oh no, I forgot. I don't have any sad mouths. So yeah, let's zoom in. Let's actually, let's do this. Let's get a color card so we can see it. We'll get rid of our drawings. What is this? We'll just delete that. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. What is that? There you go. Jesus. Okay. We have this. Let's test it out. So we're going to preview it. It's always good to preview your animation before you submit it. Right? Sometimes there's things that show up in the render that don't show up in the OpenGL. Can we see that? Can you guys see that? It's kind of small. Let's loop it. But so far, it's looking good. Like that is a finished jump. We got the overlapping action, the timing, the spacing looks pretty nice. Yeah, that looks great. I like that. I'm happy with that. Let me know what you guys think. I'll post this in the Discord. I'll see if I can post the exercise file as well, so you guys can kind of see how I made this. I'm here, but no worries. We started the stream late, but we actually finished right on time. You're right on time, TG Striker. Thanks for joining us, man. What do you think? This is what we did. This is the animation for today. Let me know what you think. Right, so that's kind of what it is. It's a lot of just blocking it out and then breaking the character down into smaller and smaller pieces, and then eventually you work on the little fine details, right? That's kind of how I like to work. I find it's the fastest. It gives you results pretty quick. So yeah, not so bad. Let's close this down. Class is finished. Nice. Before we go, if we have time, I want to show you guys another rig I'm working on since we're here. Thanks, man. Glad you like it. And yeah, let me know, guys, in the comments, any questions you guys have. If you want to post a link to your work and your demo reels or your any animation you've done, post it in the chat. We can even go over it live. I would love that. So here, this is just a new rig that I've been working on, a few different things. One thing I like, I might stop doing this now, is the mouth is a deformer mouth. So there's no more drawing substitutions. I can get any mood I want, which is huge. So that's kind of a big highlight I wanted to show you guys in this new rig, because I know the other one, it's like I didn't have the right mouths. I don't know. So I feel this is going to save me a a lot of time. Yeah, that's it. But this one's still a work in progress. Um, we'll probably do some more streams with this guy later. Yeah. Honestly, I never used to like using rigs, but you can get a lot of the same. You can get very, very great looking animation with rigs very quickly, right? If you break it down into those steps. Okay, nice. So, guys, that's an hour. Thank you so much for joining. We're getting more and more people every single stream. The chat is always great to connect with you guys. So we're gonna stream in 2 more weeks on Sunday again. We'll do another live animation demo, but we'll use that other rig I showed you guys at the end. So we'll get some cool animation there. But other than that, any questions, post it in the Discord. I'm gonna start trying to do some more YouTube videos during the week. So let me know if you want to see any topics covered. All right. Have a good day, guys. Thank you for tuning in. I really, really appreciate that. I love doing these. So have a good one.